Hey, Mike McGroarty here from freeplants.com. Today I want to show you, first of all I want to show you some Japanese maples. I bought these, actually one of our customers on the Backyard Growers Board found a really good deal on these. I've got about 135 trees here. These are all really rare varieties of Japanese maples, and I paid about $6.50 for most of them. So this is an incredible deal. I mean, this one is Ornamental Nishiki. It's a variegated leaf Japanese maple. This one, these here, this bundle, these are green filigree lace. So this is the kind of stuff that you almost never find, and if you do find them, they sell. Even a tiny plant's going to be $50 or $60, and I got them for about $6.50 a piece. I'm going to put them in my nursery. These things will sell for anywhere from a bare minimum of $75 all the way up to $300, depending on how long I keep them. But what I want to show you today is people get confused about the grafting process. I'm going to come over here because we're going to use the background of my truck as a backdrop. But people get confused about grafting and budding, and they really don't understand. So I'm going to kind of give you a crash course. This is actually a Japanese maple. The variety is Peaches and Cream. The rootstock from here down, this is the Japanese maple tree that was grown from seed, which is actually very easy to do. And then they take the desired variety, which in this case is Peaches and Cream, and they take what's called a scion, excuse me, which is just a cutting off of the desired variety that you want, and they graft it to this rootstock because Japanese maples are very difficult to root, and even if they do root, they probably don't develop a good root system. As you can see, this one has an excellent root system. So that's the advantage of grafting and budding. Grafting, you literally take a scion, probably 5 or 6 inches long, and graft it right in here. You can see where this graft union was made, where the graft was made. This is the graft union. Once the graft is established, then the top of the seedling is cut off, because when this thing was grafted, this seedling was probably this tall. Once this part got established and was doing well, then they come back and they cut off the seedling, because that's just a generic Japanese maple, green in color, nothing to get excited about. Now as this thing grows, this graft union will become less and less obvious, and the rest of the plant, and of course it'll also be when it's planted, it'll be very close to the ground, and then the rest of the plant will all be that desired variety. Now this is where people get confused sometimes, because they think that their tree went back to the wild, or they don't even understand what's going on from it. But if you have suckers, if you've got a grafted plant of any kind, it could be a crabapple, a weeping cherry, a weeping Japanese maple, or even in this case it's an upright Japanese maple, but it's of a more desired variety. If you have any growth coming off below this graft union, you want to remove that, because that stuff is going to grow up and compete with this part, and it's not going to be anything like it. It's going to be a very generic branches with very generic leaves. So right below, you got to identify where your graft union is. Like on a weeping cherry tree, the graft union could be 5 or 6 feet tall, but most other plants are down lower. So anything down here is a sucker that needs to be cut off or pinched off as soon as you see it. The rest of this is all going to be the desired variety. Now budding is just another form of grafting, but instead of using a scion about that long, they take a single bud and slit the bark and insert it in there. Budding is very popular with a lot of ornamentals like crabapple trees, some weeping cherries, and almost all your fruit trees are either grafted or budded. So a lot of the plants that you see in your landscape probably were grafted or budded at one time. Flowering shrubs, you know, things like rhododendrons, azaleas, weigelia, forsythia, red twig dog, those things are all grown from cutting, and they're very easy to grow from cutting. But some of this stuff is a little more complex, so the grafting process is employed. Grafting is a specialty. I have done grafting, but it's not something I want to do, so I look for deals like this. I buy them, you know, usually for that, somewhere in that, anywhere from $4 to $10, $12 a piece, and then I grow them on from there, because it just cuts down my production time a great deal. So anyway, that's a crash course on grafting and a crash course on really nice Japanese maples. I'm Mike McGroarty from freeplants.com.